Me nu kia koutou. Well, I'm making this video because I had a dream many years ago when I left Parliament. My dream, my vision was to see all the Maori electorate MPs come under a unified Maori umbrella so we can achieve a true partnership in Parliament with our Pakeha counterparts. Today is 1st of July 2017, a couple of hours the All Blacks will beat the Lions. It's 85 days to the election. But the Maori Party and the Mana Party, they're going nowhere. And to say otherwise is self-denial. Today's newspaper, big articles on National, Labour, New Zealand First Act, made no mention of Maori Party or Mana Party. Why? Because the media have already decided that the Maori Party and the Mana Party are irrelevant as to the formation of our next government. And if the election continues as is, as the strategy continues as is, that's going to happen. Historically, let's look at it. Last election, 24% of the Maori voters in the Maori electorates voted for a Maori Party, Maori or Mana. 41% of Maori voted for a Pakeha Party. They wanted to be subservient to a Pakeha-dominated structure. And 35% voted for other parties, be it National, Actor, whoever, or the Greens. I mean, that's an incredible statistic. Maori voters don't even trust us. And why is that? We've got to change that, 24% for God's sake. Now, let's have a look. As of March, there were 729,000 Maori registered to vote in the upcoming election. 236,000 in the Maori seats, 493,000 in the Pakeha seats. You know, if every one of those people had voted for a single Maori political entity in 2014, we would have had 36 seats in Parliament. We got two. We could have had 36. My dream, my vision, and I believe it can happen, is that we can win all 7 Maori electorates as well as a good number of list seats. But not on the current path, not on the current strategy. We need to go into this election under an umbrella of Maori Unity, where the Maori parties, Mana, Maori, Piriwiri Tua, Te Tāwharo, whatever, are separate, but for the purposes of the election, they come under the umbrella of Maori Unity. The icons at the bottom represent, for example, 5 different Maori parties, whoever, whatever they may be. They stand separate, but for the purposes of the election, we come under an umbrella of unity, because we're too small to do otherwise. Right now, Mana Party, Maori Party, that's going to split the vote. And so Māori look at that, for God's sake, you're splitting the vote, waste of time, go back to Labour. And why would you go back to Labour, for God's sake? I mean, Andrew Little has done so much to help our cause. I mean, he reckons he's the godfather of kaupapa Māori, says Māori Party don't understand kaupapa Māori. Andrew Little's the great white father, of course. He won't let Maori MPs speak on Māori issues. Calvin wanted to go appear on TV to talk about Māori in prisons, got shut down by his Pakeha boss. I have nothing against Andrew Little. I have nothing against the Labour Party or National Party or Bill English. What I do have against them is the fact that Māori had to go cap in hand to them first to seek permission to even talk on Māori issues. We need an umbrella of Maori Unity that allows for our different parties to survive and exist, and allows for our differences to live and to flourish under that umbrella. It's not a problem if Hone disagrees with Tūroroa or the other way around. And you know what? 85 days to the election, people say it's too late. It's not too late. But Mana Party, Maori Party, it's not too late. if you have the courage and if you believe in yourselves. Maori, that's what we are. We're all around the world. No matter how many tribes or parties there are among us, we all share one thing, the same identity to the world. We are Maori. Now let's go back to 2004. Remember 2004? The Foreshore and Seabed Act of 2004. How could Parliament pass this law? Why could they pass this law? Because those 6 individuals did not stand up for Maori. They stood up for themselves. They obeyed their Pakeha master. And that's what I want to change. I want the MPs who represent the Maori electorates to be accountable back to Maori. I don't want them to be accountable back to Labour, to National, to New Zealand First. I want them accountable back and reporting back and answerable to Maori. Because these are the Maori seats. Now, 2004, overnight, tens of thousands of Maori came together for a cause. And from that cause came a vision. All Maori electorate MPs accountable back to Maori and not to Pakeha. Sadly, it didn't work. The Maori Party was born, but several years later, it started to fall apart. And that's because we need to have a structure that takes into account our differences. There's nothing wrong if Mone Harawira has an opinion different to Te Roro Flavel and he wants to vote another way. Don't care, it doesn't matter. Actually, I believe every Maori electorate MP, in fact every member of Parliament, their primary duty should be to vote according to their conscience, according to what they think is best for their electorate. And if it means they're going to go up against their party, hey, so be it. And that's what I want to see for Maori. The Maori MPs striving to work together to come to a common resolution. But if one wants to sit outside, so be it, doesn't matter. As long as they truly believe they're doing the best for their electorate. Now, do we want to return to political subservience under Pakeha? Because that's what it is today. Calvin, Nanaya, Penny, Adrian, Rino, Mecca, they can say anything they want. But at the end of the day, they are chosen as nominees for their party, signed off by Pakeha, not by Maori. Has to be given the big tick by Andrew Little, the fella Curtin, and other Pakeha. And they report back and must obey the Pakeha. Because that's the majority in their party. I don't have a problem with that. But I want Maori to be able to be accountable back to Maori and do what Maori want. And if it's different to Pakeha, well, so be it. For 16, 17 years, I've dreamt this and said not much of anything, because I've always known it would never work unless the kingitanga came on board. And not just the kingitanga, but without the kingitanga, it was never going to happen. And from the kingitanga, I can see Ratana, I can see Te Hāhi Ringatu, Ngā Rōpu Katoa Māori coming on board. And last year, the coronation, Tuheitia, King Tuheitia said, I will not be voting for Labour again. Now, I've had some good meetings with King Tuheitia of recent times, and he's asked me to give this presentation to him, and he and the Kaumarua Council are fully supportive of my idea here for this unity. He's not anti-Labour, he's not anti-national, he's pro-Māori. He wants to see our MPs reporting back to us, to our Māori structure. And last year, at the coronation celebrations at Turanga Waiwai, when he got up and gave those words, created the spark, which hopefully we will get a bonfire and see our MPs reporting back to us. Maori Unity. Under a Maori umbrella, where we can always be the natural partner of the elected government. And how can this be achieved? The actual plan is that 6 months before every general election, we hold our own Maori primary elections, where all the Maori parties agree to come under the umbrella of Maori Unity. I call it the umbrella tahi tātou. That goes back to our beginnings when we came together with Pakeha in 1840. All the Maori parties will put up their candidates for the Maori primary elections. And those primary elections will be held across the Maori, our marae, our schools, our churches. And all Maori parties will agree to support the winner of the Maori primary election. So each electorate, we say, let's see, you have 5 candidates representing 5 different parties. The upside down triangle will win. We all support that unified candidate. And so out of the 7 electorates, we may have 1 from one party, 4 from another, and 2 from another party. We, Māori, will support them. They will go in from their respective parties and the ideals of their respective party, whether it's Mana Party, Maori Party, Piriwiri Tua, Te Tāwharo, whatever. But they'll come under the umbrella, so we are united when we go in. Now, the reality for 2017, it is too late to organise Māori primaries. Can't do that for this time. We want to do it for next time, for sure. But it's not too late to do something. We do not focus on the individual candidate vote. We take that for granted. We need to raise the bar of this election above the individual candidates. Very hard to beat sitting MPs. You know, Manaya's been there for 21 years. To go one-on-one, very difficult. And same with the others. And it's not about they've done a bad job, I'm not saying that at all. Totally respect those MPs we have, but they are all reporting and subservient back to Pakeha. That's what I don't like. We go for the vision. Maori MPs being accountable to Maori. That's the only policy we need to run on at this stage. Do you want your Maori MPs to be accountable back to you as Maori, or do you want to play second fiddle, cap in hand, to a Pakeha entity? Because that's what it is right now. So we go for the party vote. We assume we'll get the individual vote. And Maori MPs being accountable to Maori, that is the war cry, the catch cry, the battle cry for this election. And so no longer will we be subservient to Pakeha. No longer will a Maori MP, Te Roroa, going to be at Labour or National, cap in hand, pretty please, Mr. Pakeha Party, can we sit at your table? No, you can't sit at our main table, but you sit in the corridor at a desk and we'll throw you scraps from our pizza, maybe. Because that's what it is right now. Te Roroa's done a fabulous job and Manawa have done a great job. But at the end of the day, they are living off the scraps that occasionally, in this case, the National Party will throw at them. And if it's Nat Labour, it'll be the same. Now, what I see, the umbrella tahi tātou. The difficult part has been achieved. Tukuroirangi, in his capacity as president of the Maori Party, has done a great job. The 2 parties, Maori Party and Mana, have agreed on who the candidates will be. They won't challenge each other in the electorate. So there's no change there, that stays. But the problem right now, we're running 2 lists, or going to run 2 lists, a Mana Party list and a Maori Party list. Someone told me from the Maori Party, oh, we can't change our list, we've made promises. Hey, for what? On your list at the moment, all you're doing is arguing over where you're going to put your deck chair on which floor of the Titanic. You can be on deck 4, deck 19, the bloody thing's still going to sink. What I'm saying, we've got to destroy our alongside. Let's move everything over to the destroyer, and maybe, just maybe, we can achieve something. We sure as hell ain't going to achieve it with a separate Mana Party, Māori Party list. Māori will ignore it. They will give us a less than the vote they did before. We need a combined list. And as I said, King Tuheitia is totally supportive. Mr. Kaumarua Council is totally supportive. I hope all of you are supportive. So, to show this unity, my suggestion is to the 2 parties, Maori Party, Mana Party, come together and form a combined list. For example, this is not what I'm telling you to do, just an example. A list made up, say, a couple of choices from King Tuheitia, 6 choices from Mana Party, 9 choices from Maori Party, maybe some from Pacifica. The Maori Party have done a deal with Pacifica. Is that good or bad? Don't really know, but it's been done, so let's honour it. We don't break our word to our Pacific cousins, but we have a combined list. And if we run under a unity umbrella, we can win all 7 of those seats. We will win all 7 of those seats, and we can get the combined list because we target the vision. We don't argue specifics of policies. We're talking about Maori for Maori at the table of government in a partnership of equals for the mutual benefit of all New Zealanders. Not just Maori, because we hurt Pakeha, we hurt ourselves, for God's sake. And that's it. Tahi tātou, an umbrella of unity, King Tuheitia, Maori Party, Mana Party, all of you. If you think this is something that can work, contact Hone, contact Tururoa, contact Marama, contact Tukuroirangi, and tell them to do it. It's not too late.